Blame game. UK Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng says the BOE will be responsible if markets tank after its bond buying program ends. All eyes on CPI. Stocks fluctuate ahead of today's critical US inflation print. Fed minutes show a commitment to restrictive rate hikes. Plus, the IEA warns that OPEC production cuts could fuel inflation and tip the world into a recession.
Morning everyone. Listen up. Obviously you've got main news event of the week today. I don't have to remind you all what it is. What we want you to do by 12 o'clock today is individually put together a trading plan. So for how you're going to approach the news release. Are you going to trade the news or are you going to wait? What pairs you're going to focus on and why? What you expect to happen if the figure's better than expected, if it's worse than expected, if it comes in as expected. So I just want you to have a plan for sort of all the scenarios and then what you're going to do around the news. So are you going to trade the news? If you're already in a trade, are you going to close that trade? Are you going to keep it open? So a full plan of what you're going to do today, leading up to the news and then after the news. And then we're going to come round and ask everyone what their plan is. So you've got about an hour and a half now till 12 o'clock to get a plan together. So yeah, I'll put a message in the group just outlining what I've just said so everyone's clear on what they need to do. Obviously, you know, this week's been quite tough in terms of trading. You can clearly see the market is basically waiting for the news today. We've had a few moves here and there, but no real follow through. It's been very choppy. So obviously, overall, we're down, which I believe Sam said yesterday, the amount around 5k, but we can easily get that back today with a good trading day. But we just need to be prepared for all scenarios. And obviously, we don't want to be getting chopped up in the market around the news. So yeah, everyone just come up with a plan by 12 o'clock today. So you've got like an hour and a half, and we'll come around and ask everyone what their plan is. Any questions? No?
There is no plan. I've literally just learned that I've got to make a plan. So my plan now is to make a plan for this afternoon. That's it really.
The plan is making the plan now. But most likely I will just focus on the USD pairs because most of the heavy news will be based on USD dollar. Yeah. We'll see. We'll make the plan now and I will tell you my plan.
What's the plan? I'm currently still in my trade from yesterday, Aussie US dollar, so I'm literally just going to hold that now as we're quite close to being stopped out. So yeah, I think I'm not too sure what I'm going to do yet in terms of taking a trade, but yeah, we'll hold this one out for the long run. Hopefully we're still in it for the news and we get the right news we need to turn it around. But yeah, I'm just going to get started now on my plan on what I'll be doing for CPI news.
Plan is, for me at the moment, I'm going to wait until 1:30 for CPI data to come out. I've already started this morning putting a bit of an idea towards a plan, sort of looking back at previous CPI data release back in September, seeing how it affected the markets, both currencies and indices. So I'm going to kind of use that to now sort of put together a bit of a plan as to where I may get some entries or simply if it doesn't work with the strategy, trying to sort of assess where I could get in maybe later in the day. But at the moment, no trades for me today and certainly won't be until this afternoon.
I won't be taking any trades during the news event. I think without having a full understanding about the economic impacts of those figures, just looking at whether it's higher or lower isn't enough for me to risk a position. I will be, however, taking all valid strategy following setups up until 30 minutes before the news. 30 minutes before the news, I will not be taking positions until after the news has come out and the markets have settled.
So I'm looking for an increase of 8.1 to 8.3%, possibly 8.2 actually. I believe the biggest factor towards this is due to the gas prices being down another 7% from August to September. And statistically, in the past 27 CPI releases, we've only really had 3 negative readings out of the 27. So the favourable expectation is better than expected, which works out quite well for the trade that I'm in at the moment. I'm still holding my Aussie dollar trade from yesterday. Unfortunately, 4 pips away from take profit, so bit of a downer, but that's just how the game goes. So we're going to be holding that trade out for the opening of the news. As I said, if it goes my way, it should work out really nicely. If I was looking to open a new trade, I think I'd be looking for shorts at the moment in the trade I'm in, the Aussie dollar, New Zealand, possibly the euro, depending on how our rules are going to be set up, and long in the Swissy and looking at USD CAD as well. And if we get a negative reading, I don't think I'll be looking at doing much. Obviously, I'm going to watch myself get stopped out on my trade that I'm in. But looking at the setups, there's really not much to trade with the rules that we have. So yeah, all in all, I'm going to sit tight in my Aussie trade and hope for the best. Very confident with the release to be as expected. So we'll just see how it plans out. So I'm just hoping that I'm kind of really still in it for the release and not get stopped out before. But I mean, my personal prediction is the outcome to be just slightly higher than expected. So I'm looking for that dollar strength. So hopefully this trade will sort of come in my favour. Backtesting the previous releases, it seems the moves do happen quite quickly upon the release. We do get some whipsaws on some pairs, but not on all. So I'd be looking to sort of set up with a comfortable, healthy 40 to 50 pip stop loss, just being cautious for that. But definitely be looking for a 2 to 1 as the initial first move is anywhere really between 70 to 120 pips, and then a continuation of that bullish or bearish behaviour really. So yeah, that's my trade setup for today.
So will you be looking to enter straight after the news, or will you, what's your plan in terms of, say if it does?
Sure. With my entry, I think because of the stop loss I have and how fast the move is, I'd probably be looking to enter quite quickly. Just be looking to take the risk on the whipsaw, as I say, a healthy 40 to 50 pip stop loss.
Do you think that's a lot on a?
Yeah, I would. On an initial trade, really? I'd say that's huge.
What did it move on the last release?
On the last release on the Aussie dollar, I was just looking on here. It didn't really whipsaw at all. But then looking on other pairs,
what was the total move like?
I think like 200 pips or something to the downside. That was obviously continuation throughout the day.
Yeah.
But the sort of first candle was around 120.
You'd look for the initial reaction. Mm-hmm. Say if the initial reaction is 60 pips down.
Yeah.
Are you still going to have a 40 pip stop loss? Say if it went down 60 points, you entered because all the algos got in quickly before you.
Yep.
And then within that same 5 minute candle, it came back up, 50 points, stopped you out, and then went down.
Okay.
That's what you've got to be aware of.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just see how this one plays out.
Plan overall was good, sounds good. Obviously done your research, and yeah, good luck.
Nice one, cheers.
But yeah, hopefully your trade just pans out nicely, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get back down.
Is that a 2 to 1 then? Oh, 1.5 to 1?
Well, the annoying thing is it was at a 1.5 yesterday, and when the news came out, which looked favourable for the trade, I did move it down to a 2 to 1. Okay. So it's kind of my fault really. I should have took the 1.5, but this is now a 1.5. So it was really bearish, and I just thought the news was going to push it down further, but we got quite a big rejection, and it's just how it is. So yeah.
I decided to watch Euro USD in an hourly time frame. Just this 30 minutes after the news were released. This is always for me a good time and experience. And if the data, which is right now -4 for the US dollar against +2 for the US dollar, so it's 50% more minus, that would weaken the US dollar. Then I would get in pro euro at 0.9500, around that, and with a 25 pips, 28, 30 pips stop loss, and 60 pips take profit. And when the dollar is strengthened up, then I have to widen up the stop loss to about 55, 60 pips, and even 100 pips, then take profit.
So you reckon you can beat these guys in trading? I'm going to give you a 100k trading account in prizes for free in my latest trading challenge. The link is pinned in the comments below. Make sure you enter, and once you do, leave a comment saying entered and hit that subscribe button to show some support.
For me, after reviewing the previous historical data, I found out that inflation in CPI is more significant than the jobless claim. Because for the jobless claim, it's short-term trend, and while the inflation and CPI figures can even reverse the whole previous trend. Looking at the previous historical data, the better higher CPI figure than expected, the more bullish the US dollar goes. I was looking at the cable to short it.
So you think it'd be higher than the consensus?
Yes.
Okay.
Based
So
on
so you plan to enter on the release?
Just short, a few minutes after the release, because after reviewing all the historical data, I found that the market just doesn't take much time to respond.
8.2%, 8.3%, or are you just going to say if it's better than expected, no matter by how much you're going to trade, or?
September data was 0.2% increase, and we have bullish
So you're
move.
looking at the month from month, yeah?
Yeah. While in August, it was minus 0.2% down, and we have weakness in dollar.
Yeah, so you're just looking at the month from month, right?
Yeah.
This is the year-on-year figure as well.
So I was mainly focusing on the month by month, because it will be a scalp trade. It will not create.
So what about if the month from month comes in better than expected or higher than expected, and the year-on-year comes in lower? Are you going to place more emphasis on the month from month?
Yes, because for me it's like I said, it's a scalp trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the point of having levels on your chart?
It's just to place my stop loss and also take profits.
Yeah. So say if it comes up above this level. So this is where you're looking to short, I'm guessing.
Yeah. This is the entry point.
Yeah. So say what about if it comes up all the way up here? Are you still going to look to enter?
Yes, because I will be shorted at even better price, because we have another key level here.
But do you see what I'm saying? What's the point of having an entry price if you're then not gonna, if it goes above it and it would have hit your stop loss, and you're still entering? But doesn't that invalidate your analysis if it breaks above it?
This is entry, not the stop loss position.
Yeah. So if you entered here, for example, where your entry price is, this is your where would your stop loss be?
It will be somewhere here.
Yeah. Okay. So say the price then goes before the release, because obviously it's rallying now. So say what about this up here, where your stop loss would have been?
It will be above, because now.
Would you then wait for that entry then? Is that your next entry level above that?
So basically what I'm saying is that my first entry will be here, and this is my stop loss.
Yeah.
But if the key level here is breached, I will have second entry here, and this is my stop loss.
Okay.
But based on the CPI figure, if it's worse than expected, then I will just cancel the whole plan. I'm expecting a strengthen in the US dollar. That's why I'm shorting the cable or the kiwi.
I went through euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar yen and gold to see how the market reacted last time in regards to the first hour after the news came out, just to see which pairs were most volatile and which were more manageable.
So what was last month? What was the
Was it better than expected?
So it was better than expected last month with the CPI data, and the jobless claims were actually worse than expected also. So it could be that we see a similar effect. And if
so
that's
do you think the inflation print will outweigh the jobless claims?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe CPI is the most important data set that we're going to get today, as it's the basket of consumer goods. So we'll have like a sort of real understanding of the actual impacts of inflation for like your average person. So I was looking at potentially euro dollar. If news comes out as unchanged on the hourly,
so if it comes out as at 8.1%.
Yeah, if it comes out as expected, then I believe the market will sort of continue in the trend that it has been. If it comes out higher than expected, then I'm happy to miss the move. And then I'll be looking at non-dollar correlated pairs, so pound yen and euro yen. If I don't see the initial reaction that we saw last month, for instance, and there's a valid setup that follows the rules, then I will take that in the direction of the trend and the news.
And you're mainly going to focus on euro dollar?
Euro dollar, pound dollar has seen quite a high rally, still in a downtrend, so could see a nice setup off of R2. It looks like it's setting up on this previous support zone resistance, kind of in that area. RSI is above the 80, so I'll have to wait and see, but I'd like to see obviously a full hour of selling before I would consider getting into that position.
Yeah.
As for pound yen and euro yen, we've seen a big spike to the upside, so both are looking at buys now. So a retracement down to the 62,500 level.
Daily switched over as well.
Yeah, so just following the strategy and just taking the fundamentals into consideration before placing any trades.
If the inflation print's higher than expected, how would you expect pound yen to react?
I'm unsure about the current volatility of pound yen and euro yen. Last month they kind of whipsawed to the upside and then to the downside.
Yeah.
So just being quite careful to see how the market digests the news before jumping in, is just proceeding with caution as my stop losses. Will be taking into consideration the pips in volatility we saw last time. So for instance on euro dollar we moved 140 pips, so if there are any short positions as the daily and 15 and hourly are showing, then I'll be looking to take a position with a stop loss of half that volatility in order for me to gain a 2-to-1 reward to risk.
Forecast to rise, core forecast to rise a tad slower but still very strong. So the dollar goes up, the world still has to worry.
Guys, it's 5 minutes till the biggest news release, literally of the month. Let's get to our desks, yeah? We shouldn't be eating at all. You can eat later. Get to your desks, let's go. Biggest news release of the month, let's go. Come on, we can eat after. Fucking hell. Unbelievable. Unprofessional.
Tense, ready for the news. Obviously we're looking for it to go in the right way, so you'll be able to catch this now. 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
That new inflation data, the consumer price index, shows prices rose 8.2% year over year, higher than analysts expected.
8.2%, that's above the 8.1. Month-to-month up 0.4, that's above the expected 0.2. Core 6.6 year over year, above the expected 6.5. Month-to-month 0.6, above the expected 0.5. Weekly claims 238,000, above the expected 225. Continuing 1.368 million. And since the expected 1.365. Quick recap, downside hit risk assets, upside in bond yields.
Fairly certain that I've just been, So we hit profit due to the news, which is great. So happy with that. As I say, did exactly. My analysis was good on this, so yeah, it's looking like it's going to go quite a distance. So I'm sure a healthy trade could have been made off this, but I'm happy with the risk to reward on that. No, honestly, I've been in this trade since yesterday, and I've been at risk of being taken out twice. So for it to come in is great news.
Headline year over year, 8.2%. That falls from 8.3, but not as much as the consensus was looking for, 8.1. Month on month, 0.4, above the expected 0.2. Year over year core, 6.6%. We were expecting 6.5, and that picks up from 6.3. The month on month, 0.6, above the expected 0.5. Real weekly earnings, down 0.1%. And far rise into positive territory, up 0.2.
Leaders come in. We're just waiting to get into a position on cable. The dollar would weaken, but it looks like it's strengthened. But we're neutral, so we have a plan for both aspects. So we're just waiting for the hour confirmation, and we're going to take a backbone strategy and take it down.
So we just had the CPI figure come out. It's now 10 minutes past. As you can see, we've had, mouse comes down, absolute huge bearish candle off of that news, as it was the inflation was higher than expected, which is bearish for the Australian dollar and bullish for the US dollar. I didn't pull trigger at the news in case we get a big sort of whipsaw, so I'm hoping we get a bit of a pullback to an area where I look to get in short on this pair, or potentially euro dollar as well. I mean, we've seen so much bearish momentum at the minute. It makes me wonder if we'll get this pullback to get in. But it is 20 to 2. We've got Wall Street opening in 50 minutes. So with that being said, we might see even further pushes down from there on into the afternoon and into the close. So yeah, hoping for a pullback now. And then get short and hopefully get some profit.
The news is the news, man. The news goes up, the news goes down. Some people just made a lot of money, and I know for a fact that some traders just quit their trading career off of that move right there. So I was personally on the sidelines of it, so sit, wait. If an opportunity shows itself by the time we leave, take the trade. If not, then we just come back tomorrow and do the same thing. I don't have any emotion towards it, you know. If I would have gotten the trade and it hit my take profit, that would have been great. If it would have went to the stop loss, it would have been the same thing. I just didn't enter myself into the risk of taking an opportunity to play the probability game of winning or losing a trade, so it is what it is. I was expecting a large move in the market because it is the biggest news event of the month. It's up there with them, so in either direction I didn't know, but I guess that's what you wait till after to find out.
My plan would have been worked out because I'm shorting Kiwi, New Zealand dollar, and you can see from here I just marked the entry, the stop loss, and but because it was too fast move, and we cannot enter a trade without the confirmation candle close. So just waiting for the close of the candle, it went too fast. Yeah, but just wait to see how the market react to the news. I mean, give it some time to settle after and respond after the news, and I might short the cable as a backbone strategy. Yeah, but that would have been really good trade if we can execute without the candle close.
I was watching Euro USD and Pound USD, and Pound USD there comes up a good setup, chance for a backbone. That's what I thought, because the pound is pretty strong just in the last week versus the dollar, and the dollar can get and fight back its strength to the former price line, which they had around here. I read around 110. So if that pans out, and at the next full hour at 2 o'clock, I jump in and try my luck at short with cable.
It kind of did what I expected it to do. Wasn't able to profit on the initial move, as the market moved really quickly. Moved about 100 pips in the space of 5 minutes. So now it's a case of letting the market settle and hopefully getting getting in on the rebound and retest of the previous range lows. So support and resistance is the game plan for me. There's a few potential opportunities on Euro Yen. We've had a nice sell-off. We're in an uptrend. Euro Yen whipsawed up and down last time, so I expect to see a bounce to the upside. So if we get a good confirmation, I might take that to the upside.
Could have been a 4-to-1 trade. I'm more than happy that the trade came in and at a 1.5. You know, it's one of those. Obviously, we're all looking to possibly enter now. So, if anything, I'm going to be looking for a possible pullback and a re-entry for another trade. So yeah, we'll see how it plans out. Obviously, these guys are all looking as well. So over the moon that it came in, let alone got a 1.5 to 1 on it. So I can't be upset that it could have been more. Just got to look for opportunities now, moving forward. So you know, I'm up healthily on the account, and that's the benefit that we take from the trade. I'm a happy boy. Just want to trade. Like, come on, I'm all good. Just looking at the long picture, the account looks good now, so I'm happy.
I took a trade here for a long on TJ. I took it for a 2-to-1 with 35 pip stop loss, so a 70 pip take profit. It's just kind of been consolidating in this zone here, bouncing off the 50 EMA as our support zone. So I took it on this 5-minute candle. We're aiming for right up here. We'll see what we got, and then we also have this R1 area here as another support zone. 5-minute lines up with the daily chart. I believe the 15 and the hourly also line up here, so pretty confident in this one. It's just going to be a quick scalp here. As long as it stays within our little consolidation zone, we'll be good.
Entered it on the 5-minute pound-dollar sells. We saw initial big drop here. Entered on the close of that candle, expecting a continuation from the move down. There's a 50 pip SL, so I put it above these wicks here. But yeah, just letting it breathe right now. And hopefully we'll see the dollar continue to gain strength. We'll have to wait and find out. I thought it was quite reasonable. It wasn't too tight, but there is a lot of volatility in the market, so we don't know what to expect.
Just shorted pound dollar on the backbone entry, so the RSI went above the 80. We're at previous support and resistance and bouncing off of R2. We had that really positive news for the dollar, an initial sell-off of over 100 pips, small retracement about 60 pips, getting in on the hourly close, a nice wide stop of 125 pips, and a take profit of about 240 pips down at these previous lows. So yeah, gonna be in this position for a little while, and yeah, happy with the entry. Bit of a weird candle. We had a massive rally this morning with the UK coming out with a U-turn on their policy change, but that's just a bit of a rumour right now. It's not been confirmed. And then obviously this much higher than expected CPI data, so looking like a lot of dollar strength. So happy to take the trade, and we'll see how it pans out.
I just missed the cable entry. I was in a perfect backbone setup, but I was not sure because the candle after the confirmation candle was too volatile. So I was deciding to wait a little bit, but exactly in that moment, the good news just drop in from the good old United States, and that strengthens the dollar. And so I see my trade going down the river. But there are enough chances and entries along the day today. Great day today for traders.
So if you love trading like I do and my team, and you want to become more qualified, we offer a level 5 and level 7 diploma. Now this is the exact same as a master's degree equivalent. If you want to find out how to get more qualified in trading, check the link in the description and show some support by hitting that subscribe button.
My first
trade of the day. I missed a few, but I'm currently shorting euro dollar. We had good CPI news strengthening the dollar. The daily direction is bearish. 15 minutes is bearish as well. For our stop loss protection, we have the UK pivot point, and we have also strong resistance after support turning to resistance, aiming for 1.5 risk to reward. So hopefully it work out. Currently I'm slight drawdown, but yeah, I'm following the rules, and this is my first trade of the day. So yeah, hopefully it will work out.
But I just came by to tell you that you're doing good.
Thanks, man.
At least you trade.
Yeah,
At
man.
least you do, and it was a decent, and it's still a decent entry.
Yeah, man.
So
It's a little bit of a drawdown, but it's not it's not over yet, so we'll see what happens.
this is still a volatile market after its high impact news hours. So it looks good. The entry was 100% from the book, my friend.
Mhm.
Well done.
Cheers, man.
Is like the last couple minutes in the 15 minutes. So it could be up and down all 15 minutes, but the last little bit is where you'll really see where it's going to go. So I'm planning on just holding this one anyways and just seeing how it's going to end up at the end of the hour. So I think we'll end up going up and hopefully hitting our take profit, but it's not something that I really want to close early. Yep, 5 more minutes. I mean, pound's been doing pretty good since they've been talking about a U-turn, changing some of their spending policies. So I'm pretty confident that it's going to hold up pretty good against the yen here. And the yen hasn't really adjusted any of their inflation at all. They're at like negative 0.1% in inflation. So the pound should be a lot stronger than the yen. There it is. We'll go to history.
Just move your take profit up.
Oh, for this one? Just trail it up? Oh, were you watching it in there too?
Of course.
Oh.
So, are you back in the
It wouldn't have been as stressful if it was just me sitting here watching it, but the camera back and forth made it a little more stressful for me. Yeah, I'm very happy with the trade. It worked out exactly how I thought it was going to work out, so it's one of the one times that
1.5 down.
yeah, right now I am 1.5 down. Like I said, I've been feeling a lot better every single day, trading more and more, feeling a lot more confident with the positions I take. So hopefully tomorrow we find some good positions, get ourselves into positive. I'm gonna look for more options, but I'm not gonna push myself to take something that's not really worth it. So we'll just see if anything shows up and just go for something from there.
I just have been stopped out from my first trade of the day. We have good stop loss protection from the previous lows here. We have the UK pivot, and we have both the 50 and 200 EMAs as a protection for the stop loss. But just one big bullish candle has just took me out. It's not good to lose, but it's part of the game. I am following the rules. I'm sticking to the risk management. So yeah, what to do? Need to find the next winnable trade. Yeah.
Whatever happens, happens. It was a valid setup. Had fundamental basis as to why I believed it was a good trade, or why I believe it's a good trade. Good reward to risk, high probability. If it gets stopped out, it gets stopped out. I've just got to keep going and keep finding new opportunities, and eventually I might get some
some wins under my belt. It's a bit laughable, really.
No, maybe $10, right?
8 trades in, I've not had a win yet.
$10?
I mean, I think that's
And then just let it run.
Almost.
See this kind of use
Well, it's unlikely to begin with to even have 3 of your first trades lose, but to have 8 and potentially 9 trades in a row lose is pretty spectacular, if I'm honest. So we'll see what happens. If it gets stopped, it gets stopped. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Not much you can do about it. That is as the market is. But right now we're still in by the skin of my teeth, maybe 20 pips from the stop loss. Yeah, 20 pips. But yeah, man, not much you can do. Following the strategy and waiting for big pullbacks and bearish confirmation. So I don't even think in hindsight there's much you can really say about that. I mean, you could argue there was a higher low and it broke this previous lower high, but I don't think that's a reason to not take the trade, especially when you've got enough confluences in other areas. Disheartened, I guess, a little bit, understandably. Even through the little bit of trading I've done before, I've never had 9 losses in a row. So this is definitely a new experience. It's possible I've made a few mistakes. I've tried to stick to the guidelines as much as possible. I think it'd be more difficult to try and lose 9 in a row than have the probability of losing 9 in a row, even with a good edge. So yeah, flipping a coin. Is it possible you get 9 tails in a row? Probably, but it's unlikely. It's definitely going to happen the more trades you take. So over 10,000 trades, you're probably going to have a period where you lose 9, 10, 12 in a row. But obviously, it's a bit tough to stomach. Trying to do my best, but obviously it's not been good enough so far. Trying to show the guys that I deserve to be here, but it's not been going to plan so far. So I've got to turn it around and I've got to do it quick. So that's the plan. What have I learned? I've learned that it doesn't matter the quality of the trade, that probability will play out. Sometimes you can get lucky, sometimes you can get unlucky. A perfectly good setup doesn't mean that it's going to win, and a bad setup doesn't mean it's going to lose. I think that's been proven this week. I've got to say that some of the trades I don't understand. As far as the strategy we've been taught, I've definitely seen trades that weren't the strategy, and they've won. So I guess that's a bit frustrating. But yeah, I've just got to follow the strategy and have good reward to risk, and probability will play out. People can fucking chat bear shit, yeah, take the shittest trades you've ever seen and still fucking win. Jesus fucking wet.
So interesting day in the end. Obviously, main data of the week came out today, CPI. Saw the initial move, and then the US session started in the afternoon, and I mean the whole move got reversed and some. Obviously it's difficult trading today, difficult trading this week. You know, trading isn't easy, and this is why, you know, throughout the interview process, throughout the whole process, we reiterate every single time, trading's not easy, and whoever tells you otherwise is just full of shit, basically. But it is what it is. You've got to keep your head up. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep plugging away. Put your hands up today if you didn't place a trade. 1, 2, 3. Didn't place a trade. Put your hand up if you didn't place a trade yesterday. 1, 2, 3. Three people haven't placed a trade the last 2 days. The same 3 people. You're most likely to go home tomorrow. Okay? You need to trade. You're here to trade. You're not here to sit on your fucking hands and do. I know it's difficult. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it isn't. But there's opportunities in the market. We'd rather you be taking trades that are valid setups and losing than doing nothing. Okay? So tomorrow, all 3 of you need to place at least 1 trade. If not tonight, go home this evening, get on your computers, laptops, whatever. Look for setups. You know, there will be setups. If there aren't, I want you to definitely place a trade tomorrow, at least if not tonight, okay? Everyone else, again, you go home. If you want to trade, you can trade. If you want to stay here, we'll be here for the next sort of half an hour, 45 minutes. But yeah, you can trade obviously the evening. Make sure you stick to the setups, and obviously 1% risk is vital. But yeah, has anyone got any questions? Anyone feeling the pressure? Anyone, you know, worried? Anyone, you know, we'd rather you take valid trades and do nothing at all. You know, that's the whole reason you're here, right? You're here to trade. You're not here to just sit for 8 hours a day or whatever, looking at the markets, doing fuck all. But yeah, it's not easy. You know, but you've just got to keep at it. You've got to keep positive. And yeah, you know, it will pay off in the end. It just takes time. But if you are feeling the pressure, stressed, speak to Adrian in the morning. Just go up to him, grab him, yeah, and just, you know, have a sit down with him if you feel that, you know, if you feel that'll help. But yeah, and if you've got any questions, just throw them in the group. We're happy to answer them. Okay, so we're down now overall just over 6 grand, 6,200 roughly. So in terms of the overall portfolio, it's just over 2%, so it's nothing. You know, we can gain that back tomorrow quite easily. But yeah, I just want those 3 that haven't traded today and didn't trade yesterday, definitely place a trade tonight, by latest tomorrow, okay? The last thing you want to do is go home because you haven't placed a trade. You're not going to get anywhere in trading with, you know, not executing. Obviously there are times to trade and times not to trade. However, not trading for 2 days is not acceptable when you're on this challenge. Okay? Cool. Have a good evening.
Okay, listen up guys. Can I grab Zolt and Aaron please? Can I grab you in my office? Zolt and Aaron.
Do you guys happen to have any trainers with you?
Trainers? Trainers?
Trainers in your ready bag?
Yeah, I do.
What do you have jacket-wise?
Jacket-wise, I have range.
I've got a jacket.
So we're going to a place